Welcome in, everybody. We are here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex for a 42nd District matchup, the second game of this two-game series between the Scott County Cardinals and the Broncos of Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass won Game 1 last night, but Scott County is back here at home. Looks to take the second game of this series. We'll start off with the starting the infield. First is Scott County. First base is Garrett Sparks. Second base, Will Rose. Shortstop is Sebastian Arden. Third baseman is Parker Dotson. Left field, Tyler Wan. Center field, Justin Stevenson. Right field, Keegan Hurd. Behind the plate for Scott County is Duncan Stevens. And on the mound with the Cardinals is the senior, number 11, Preston Luckett. Batting lineup for Frederick Douglass, Calvin Johnson first. Clark Tackett second. Reese Harbison is third. Connor Harris is fourth. Ismail Najee is fifth. Junior Harris is sixth. Gabe Wright seventh. Braxton Hensley eighth. Jakari Jackson batting ninth. We're here for the first pitch. It's the second.
Leading off for the Broncos, the center fielder, number 3, Calvin Johnson.
Starting it off for Frederick Douglass is the center fielder, number 3, Calvin Johnson. Calvin had 4 at-bats yesterday, 2 hits, 2 runs, and 1 RBI. First pitch is strike 1. 0-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. Oh, 2 pitch is fouled back into the net. Here is the 0-2 pitch from Luckett. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Preston Luckett starts out the game with a strikeout. That brings up number 2, Clark Tackett, the designated hitter. Pitched for the Broncos yesterday, went 7 innings. He had 4 at-bats yesterday with 2 hits, 1 run scored, and 1 RBI. First pitch today is fouled off, out of play. Oh, 1 pitch is low and outside. 1-1. Here's the pitch. And it'll be high for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And it is fouled down the right field line. It'll be out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count. 2-2 pitch is called strike 3 looking. Two outs away here in the top of the first. Brings up number 6, Reese Harbison. He is the shortstop today for the Broncos. First pitch to him is called strike 1. Reese had 4 at-bats yesterday, had 2 hits, 1 run scored. Second pitch is strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Luckett. That ball is hit to Will Rose at second base. He'll come through, field it, toss it over to Garrett Sparks at first for out number 3. Preston Luckett gets 2 strikeouts and a ground out. In the top of the first, Frederick Douglass scores 0 runs, no hits, no errors from the Cardinals. No runners left on base. The score is 0-0. We'll be right back for the bottom of the second inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex, Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. In the bottom of the first inning, score is still 0-0. Up to bat for Scott County is number 8, Justin Stevenson. After him will be Sebastian Arden, then Will Rose. Duncan Stevens batting 4th, Garrett Sparks. Keaton Hurd is 6th, Parker Dotson 7th, Luke Huffman's 8th, Tyler Wands is 9th. First pitch of the game will hit Stevenson, and he will take first base. That brings up shortstop number 1, Sebastian Arden for Scott County. Infield, or the field for Frederick Douglass, Connor Harris at first, Ethan Harris at second, Reese Harbison at third base, Jackson at third, Najee in left field, Johnson in center field, and Harris is in right field. Gabe Wright behind the plate, and on the mound for the Broncos is number 5, Braxton Hensley. First pitch to Arden is ball 1. Stevenson's going to take second. Arden pops that ball into shallow right field. Ethan Harris catches it tracking back. He throws over to Connor Harris at first base, and they will double up Scott County. Looks like something's wrong with the right-handed batter's box there. Catcher Gabe Wright. Home plate umpire Coach Willard came down from third base. Trying to fix the hole or something on the ground. We are back here after they fixed the batter's box. Up to bat for Scott County. Number 2, Will Rose. Will had 3 at-bats yesterday. 1 strikeout. First pitch of his at-bat today is ball 1. It's 1-0. And it's low and inside for ball 2. Here's a 2-0. That ball is fouled back right onto the net. Hit the pole. Strike 1. Here is the 2-1. That ball is hit into left center field. It'll be down for a base hit. Will Rose rounds first. And he will stop halfway. Come back to first. Base hit. That brings up number 28, Duncan Stevens. Duncan had 2 walks in his game in the game yesterday. He steps into the box now for his first at-bat of this game. 2 outs away. Here's the pitch, and it's inside for ball 1. Hensley gets a sign from right behind the plate. Comes set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Hensley checks over to Will Rose at first. Now here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hensley comes set. Here's the pitch. And it's high for ball 2. Frederick Douglass fans did not like that call. Hensley is making his way back to the dugout. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and it's low and outside for ball 3. Duncan Stevens works a full count. Here's a 3-2. Rose is going to take second base, and it'll be inside for ball 4. Runners on first and second for Scott County. That brings up number 4, Garrett Sparks. He is the first baseman today for Scott County. Number 9, Colt Fields comes in. Courtesy runner for Duncan Stevens, who is catching. Third baseman Jackson playing just behind the bag. Now he's backing up. All the rest of the infielders are back on the edge of the grass. First pitch to Garrett Sparks is hit to second baseman Ethan Harris. He's going to come over, step on second base for out number 3. So in the bottom of the first, Scott County scores 0 runs. 1 hit. No errors from Frederick Douglass. 2 runners left on base. Score still 0-0. We'll be right back. Top of the second inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex for Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. Headed into the top of the second inning. Score still 0-0. Up to bat for the Broncos is number 23, Connor Harris, the first baseman. First pitch to him is hit to Sebastian Arden at shortstop. He'll field it. Throw across to Garrett Sparks is in time for out number 1. That brings up number 10, Ismail Najee, the left fielder. He had 3 at-bats yesterday with 1 hit. In the box, with the first pitch from Luckett. Here it is. It is hit into deep left field. Tyler Wan's charging back, and it will be gone. Najee makes his way. He'll hit home plate. Head back to the dugout, celebrates with his team. Frederick Douglass takes the 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. That brings up number 16, Junior Harris. He is the right fielder today. He had 3 at-bats yesterday, 1 hit, and 2 RBIs. First pitch today shows the bunt, and it's low away in the dirt for ball 1. 1-0 is outside, ball 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's high and out for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Here is the pitch, and it's outside for ball 4. It's the first walk of the game from Preston.
Batting for the Broncos, this catcher, number 13, Gabe White.
That brings up number 13, Gabe Wright, the catcher. He had 3 at-bats yesterday. Steps into the box for his first at-bat of this game. Runner goes, and pitch is fouled back. Oh, 1 is the count now. Here's the pitch from Luckett. Low away in the dirt for ball 1. Junior Harris over at first base is going to call time, tie his shoe. One ball, 1 strike. Gabe Wright steps back into the box. Here's the pitch, and it's outside for ball 2. Junior Harris at first base fakes a steal. Draws a throw from Duncan Stevens, the catcher. Throw down to Garrett Sparks, the first baseman for Scott County, is not in time. That ball was low and away in the dirt, so it'll be ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike is the count. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off. Preston Luckett works it back to a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. He steps back onto the rubber now. Gets his sign from Duncan Stevens behind the plate. He'll come set. Here's the pitch to Gabe Wright. And it's high and out for ball 4. Junior Harris moves up to second base. Gabe Wright will be on first. Courtesy runner number 32 is Aaron Durson. Pitching coach Jay Pryor comes out to talk to Preston Luckett. Brings up back-to-back walks from Preston Luckett. Brings up number 3, Braxton Hensley. Hensley had 3 at-bats yesterday. 1 hit, 2 runs scored, and 1 RBI. Here's the first pitch. He shows the bunt, laid down the third base line, but it will be foul. So 0-1. Garrett Sparks at first base playing. Got a step in on the infield grass. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Preston Luckett goes to Sebastian Arden at shortstop. They've got Junior Harris in a rundown. Parker Dotson has the ball now, and he misses the tag on Junior Harris. Throws it to Sebastian Arden, but he tags him for out number 2. Sebastian dropped the ball. The field umpire says it's on the transfer. So that's an out. Out number 2. Durison running for Gabe Wright moves up to second base. The count against Braxton Hensley is 0-2. Here's the pitch from Luckett, and it is fouled out of play. Scott County is wearing the red uniforms today, and the white pants with the red stripe on them. Black letters with the white outline on the letters. Frederick Douglass wearing green tops, white numbers, orange outline, and the gray pants. Here's the 0-2 from Luckett, and it's outside for ball 1. Luckett gets his sign from Stevens, comes set. Here's the 1-2. And it is upstairs for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. In the top of the second inning, Frederick Douglass scores 1 run on 1 hit. No errors from Scott County, and 1 runner is left on base to score. Frederick Douglass 1, Scott County 0. We'll be right back. Bottom of the second inning, this is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk.
Keegan Hurt.
We're back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex, Scott County High School for Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass takes 1-0 lead in the top of the second inning with the home run from Ismail Najee. Leading off the inning for Scott County, number 7, Keegan Hurt. First pitch to him is hit to Harbison at shortstop. Throw across to Connor Harris at first base is in time for out number 1. Looks like he tripped a little bit coming out of the batter's box. Looks like the same spot they had trouble with earlier in the game. We'll be right back after they fix this spot on the field. We are back here in the bottom of the second inning. They got that spot on the field fixed up for now. Up to bat for Scott County is Parker Dotson, number 25. He's the third baseman today. Steps into the box for his first at bat this game. Parker, left-handed batter. First pitch, high and outside. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. And it's called strike 1. Right on the outside corner of the plate. Here is the 1-1. And it's called strike 2. Battery on the ground. One of those. 1-2 pitch. Tying away for ball 2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And it's outside for ball 3. Parker Dotson works it to a 3-2 count. Here is the 3-2 from Hensley. And it's outside for ball 4. First base runner of the game for Scott County. That brings up the designated hitter for Scott County, number 34, Luke Huffman. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Here is the 0-1 Huffman. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Here is the 0-2 from Hensley. And it's called strike 3. Huffman strikes out looking. First strikeout of the game from Hensley. 2 outs away here in the bottom of the second inning. Brings up the left fielder,
Now batting for the
number
Cardinals,
22, Tyler Wands,
fielder,
left-handed batter.
Number 22, Tyler Wan.
First pitch, called strike one. Let's hit that outside corner of the plate. Ball was tailing out. The 0-1. That ball is fouled out of play for strike two. No balls and 2 strikes is the count. Hensley comes set. Here's the pitch. And that ball is fouled back out of play. Juan stays alive with 2 strikes against him. Hensley comes set. And here's the 0-2 again. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That'll be out number 3 of the bottom of the second. Scott County scores 0 runs. No hits, no errors from Frederick Douglass. 1 runner is left on base. The score after 2 complete innings. Frederick Douglass 1, Scott County 0. We'll be right back with the top of the third inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We're back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex, Scott County. First is Frederick Douglass. Out the bat for Frederick Douglass is number 9, Jakari Jackson. He's playing third base today for the Broncos. He had 2 at-bats yesterday. 1 hit, 1 run scored. First pitch to him today. Called strike 1. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Here is the 0-2 pitch from Luckett. And it's outside for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Luckett. And it's low and away for ball 2. Gets a pass. Duncan Stevens, the catcher. Jakari Jackson steps back into the box. Luckett gets his sign. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Frederick Douglass back to the top of the lineup. Number 3, Calvin Johnson, the center fielder. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat of this game. First pitch is fouled back into the net. Here's the 0-1. And it's called strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Luckett. Swing and a miss, strike 3. This is the 5th strikeout of the game from Preston Luckett. 2 outs away here in the top of the 3rd inning. Brings up number 2, Clark Tackett, the designated hitter. He struck out looking in his first at-bat of the game. Here is the first pitch of his second at-bat. It is hit on a line to in between first and second. Will Rose bobbles it as he picks it up. Clark Tackett will be on first. It brings up number 6, Reese Harbison, the shortstop. He grounded out to Will Rose at second base in his first at-bat. Steps into the box now for his second at-bat. Ball is popped up in the infield. Garrett Sparks, first baseman, calls for it, and he'll catch it for out number 3 of the top of the 3rd inning. In the top of the 3rd, Frederick Douglass scores 0 runs on 1 hit, no errors from Scott County. 1 runner is left on base. 2 more strikeouts from Preston Luckett. The score, Frederick Douglass 1, Scott County 0. We'll be right back. For the bottom of the 3rd inning, this is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex. Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. Up to bat for Scott County. Top of the lineup, number 8, Justin Stevenson. Justin was hit by the pitch in his first at-bat of this game. First pitch of a second. Up and in, ball 1. The 1-0 from Hensley. And ball is fouled straight back into the net for strike 1. Here is the 1-1 from Hensley. And it's called strike 2 on the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And it's called strike 3. Stevenson strikes out looking. That is the 3rd strikeout from Hensley here in this game. Now batting is number 1, Sebastian Arden, the shortstop. He flew out to Ethan Harris at second base in his first at-bat. Here is the first pitch of second at-bat. It's high out for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. It's inside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. And it'll hit Arden, the second hit batter of this game, and Arden will take first. So 1 out away, and a runner on first. Up to bat is number 2, Will Rose, the second baseman. He singled on a line drive to left center field in his first at bat. First pitch, second at bat is ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That ball is hit into left center field. Center fielder Johnson will camp under it and catch it for out number 2. Two outs away here in the bottom of the third. Up to bat is number 28, Duncan Stevens, the catcher. He walked in his first at bat. Here's the first pitch. Duncan's second at bat of this game. And it'll be called strike 1. Hensley shakes off the pitch. He'll step off the rubber. Steps back onto the rubber. Gets a sign from Gabe Wright at first base. He's checking Sebastian Arden first. Here's the pitch. Arden's going to take second. Swing and a miss from Duncan. And the throw down from Gabe Wright is in time to Reese Harbison. They'll tag out Sebastian Arden. That'll be out number 3. In the bottom of the third, Scott County scores 0 runs, no hits, no errors from Frederick Douglass. No runners are left on base to score. Frederick Douglass 1, Scott County 0. We'll be right back with the top of the 4th inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back at the Cardinal Baseball Complex at Scott County High School. Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass leads after 3 complete innings, 1-0. Up to bat for the Broncos is number 23, Connor Harris, playing first base. He grounded out to Sebastian Arden at shortstop in his first at-bat of this game. Steps into the box now for a second at-bat. Here's the pitch from Preston Luckett. And it bounces in the left-handed batter's box for ball one. Here's the 1-0. And it's outside again for ball two. Here is the 2-0 pitch. It's called strike one. Delayed call there. 2-1 pitch. That ball is hit right back up the middle, and it'll get down for a base hit.
Now batting for the Broncos, the left fielder, number 10.
That brings up number 10, Ismail Najee, the left fielder. He homered in his first at-bat to left field. Here is the first pitch of the second at-bat. And it's high for ball one. And it's called strike one. Check swing there from Najee. Here is the 1-1 from Luckett. It's outside in the left-handed batter's box. Blocked up by Duncan Stevens behind the plate. Keeps Connor Harris on first base. Here's a 2-1. And it's low and down. Low and out for ball three. Preston takes a breath here, makes his way back to the rubber. Frederick Douglass record so far this year, 11-11. 1-1's hit right back up the middle to Luckett. He bounces it to Arden at shortstop. They're able to get to out at second. But Ismail Najee will be safe at first. The throw was offline from Arden to Sparks.
Now batting for the Broncos, the right fielder, number 16, Junior Harris.
One out away, and a runner on first brings up the right fielder, number 16, Junior Harris. He walked in his first at bat, then he was picked off between second and third. First pitch of a second at bat is hit down the third base line. It'll get past Parker Dodson. Ismail Najee will hold up on second base. A single from Junior Harris. Runners now on first and second. Brings up the catcher, number 13, Gabe Wright. He walked in his first at bat. Ismail Najee on second base, Junior Harris on first. Here's the first pitch. Ball is low and in the dirt. Blocked up by Duncan Stevens. One-0 pitch from Luckett is ball two, high. 2 balls And no strikes. It's a pitch. That ball is popped straight up, and it's going to go right into the stands. It'll hit on top of the press box. It'll be strike one against Gabe Wright. Now, looks like Preston Luckett talking with the field umpire on the mound. Maybe Preston wasn't coming set or making something small was wrong. Here's a 2-1. And ball is hit into deep left field. It is back, and it is gone. A 3-run home run from Gabe Wright. It brings in Ishmael Najee, who was on second. Junior Harris was on first. And then Gabe Wright is the third run. Frederick Douglass extends their lead to 4. That brings up number 5, Braxton Hensley. He's the pitcher today. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat. First pitch is called strike 1. This is the second home run of the game from Frederick Douglass. 0-1, and it's ball 1 outside. Here is the 1-1. That's ball 2 high. Here is the 2-1 from Luckett, and it's fouled straight back into the net. 2 balls and 2 strikes is now the count. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off. It'll hit Duncan Stevens' helmet, the catcher. The count stays 2-2. Here's a 2-2 from Luckett, and that ball is fouled out of play again. So Braxton Hensley stays alive with 2 strikes on him. The 2-2 is hit into shallow left field. Tyler Wands comes charging in, and he catches it for out number 2. Two outs away here in the top of the 4th inning. Brings up the 9-hole hitter, number 9, Jakari Jackson, the third baseman. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat of this game. First pitch of a second at-bat is fouled straight back into the net. The 1 is called strike 2. Looking. Here is the 0-2 from Luckett. And it's in the dirt. Left-handed batter's box gets past Duncan Stevens at first. 1 ball and 2 strikes is now the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Preston Luggett finally able to get out of the top of the 4th. 3-run home run, fly out, then a strikeout. Freddie Douglass scores 3 runs on 2 hits. No errors from Scott County. And no runners are left on base to score now. Frederick Douglass 4, Scott County 0. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 4th inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex, Scott County High School. Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. Going into the bottom of the 4th inning, Frederick Douglass leads 4-0. Up to bat for Scott County is the catcher, number 28, Duncan Stevens. He walked in his first at-bat of this game. First pitch of Duncan's second at-bat is outside for ball 1. Here is the 1-0. And it'll be inside for ball 2. (2-0) from Hensley is called strike 1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Inside for ball 3. Gabe Wright holds that pitch up there for a while. Here's a 3-1 pitch. And it'll be called strike 2. Duncan Stevens was already making his way down the first base line. He threw his bat toward the dugout. Three balls, 2 strikes, and that ball is fouled straight back into the net. The count still 3-2. Here is the 3-2 pitch, and that ball is hit into left field. Najee tracking in, but that ball will be down for a base hit from Duncan Stevens. Goldfield will come in. Courtesy runner for Duncan Stevens. That brings up number 4, Garrett Sparks. He's the first baseman today. He grounded into a fielder's choice to the second baseman, Ethan Harris. Gabe Wright calls time. He's going to go out and talk to Ethan Hensley, the pitcher. Excuse me, Braxton Hensley. First pitch of Garrett's second at-bat today is popped up, and it's out of play. Scott County, 2 hits so far this game. Frederick Douglass with 5. 0-1. Low and out. Ball 1. Here is the 1-1 from Hensley. That ball is popped up shallow right field. Junior Harris charging in. He calls for it. Camps under it and catches it for out number 1. One out away here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brings up number 7, Keegan Hurt. He grounded out to Reese Harbison at shortstop in his first at bat. He's in the box now. He awaits the first pitch of his second at bat from Braxton Hensley. Here's the pitch. It's hit right back up the middle. Reese Harbison fields it, steps on second base, throw across to Connor Harris, unassisted double play. In the bottom of the 4th inning, Scott County scores no runs on 0 hits, no errors from Frederick Douglass, and no runners are left on base to score. Frederick Douglass 4, Scott County 0. We'll be right back for the top of the 5th inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We're back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex. Scott County High School, Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. After 4 complete innings, Frederick Douglass leads 4-0. New pitcher for Scott County is the junior Will Rose. First pitch is inside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Low and out for ball 2. The batter for Frederick Douglass is the leadoff, number 3, Calvin Johnson, center fielder. Struck out in his first 2 at-bats this game. The ball is in the dirt and away for ball 3. Here is the 3-0 from Will Rose, and it's called strike 1. Parker Dotson came in to second base. Tyler Wands came in from left field to third base. Goldfield entered the game to go to right field. That ball is hit right back up the middle to roll out to Justin Stevenson in center field. Another base hit from the Broncos. No outs. Runner on first brings up number 2, Clark Tackett, the designated hitter. He struck out looking in his first at bat. Single on a ground ball in between first and second in his second at bat. First pitch of his third at bat is ball 1. And Calvin Johnson will steal second base. No throw from Scott County catcher Duncan Stevens. One ball and no strikes is the count. Here's the pitch. Low in the dirt. Left-handed batter's box for ball 2. Calvin Johnson got caught up there in between second and third. Here's a 2-0 from Will Rose, and it is fouled off by Clark Tackett. The count now, 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit to where Sebastian Arden will be playing, but he was holding on Calvin Johnson. So it rolls out into left field. Colt Fields out there picks it up, gets it back into the infield. Runners now on first and third for Frederick Douglass. And that brings up number 6, Reese Harbison. He's a shortstop. Grounded out to Will Rose at second base in his first at-bat. Flew out to Garrett Sparks at first baseman in his second at-bat. He's in the box now. He awaits the first pitch of his third at-bat. Here's the pitch. And it is popped up out of play. Will Rose gets his sign from Duncan Stevens behind the plate. That is high. It's high. Ball 1. Clark Tackett trying to draw the throw from Duncan Stevens. Duncan threw it late, so Clark was able to slide into second safe. Close play at second. So 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. Here's the pitch from Will Rose. Outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. It'll be ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. No outs. Runners on second and third. Here's the pitch. Low in the dirt. And that's ball 4. Reese Harbison will take first base. The bases are now loaded for Frederick Douglass. So I kind of sending somebody down to the bullpen. See who that is. Up to bat now for Frederick Douglass, number 23. Connor Harris, the first baseman. He grounded out to Sebastian Arden at shortstop in his first at-bat. Singled on a ground ball to center field in his second at-bat. Duncan Stevens calls time. He's going to go out there and talk to Will Rose. Trying to buy time for Scott County's new pitcher warming up down in the bullpen. He'll make his way back behind home plate. As Connor Harris steps into the box. Awaits the first pitch of his third at-bat. Here it is. And it's in the dirt, blocked up by Duncan Stevens. Scott County infielders playing in on the edge of the grass. Here's the 1-0. And it's low. Ball 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Will Rose. And it's outside for ball 3. Now the pitching coach, Jay Pryor, will call time and make his way out to the mound. He's going to talk to Will Rose and Duncan Stevens, the catcher. They'll break this mound visit. Duncan Stevens heads back behind home plate. Coach Pryor heads back to the dugout. The count is 3-0 still. Connor Harris is the batter. Here is the 3-0 from Will Rose. Inside for ball 4. And that will walk in the 5th run of the game for Frederick Douglass. Now batting for Frederick Douglass is number 10, Ismail Najee, the left fielder. First pitch to him is ball 1. He homered in his first at-bat to left field, grounded into a fielder's choice back to Preston Luckett. Second pitch, ball 2 high. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch from Will Rose. And it's ball 3, low. Here is the 3-0. And it's called strike 1. The 3-0 is foul, hit in foul territory. Preston Luckett against the fence, and he is unable to make the catch. 3-2 is now the count. Three-two pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3 for out number 1. 1 out away now here in the top of the 5th. Bases loaded. Brings up number 16, Junior Harris, the right fielder. He walked in his first at-bat, singled on a ground ball to left field in his second. Here's the first pitch of his third. Outside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Here's the 1-1 from Will Rose. Breaking ball, hit to straightaway center field. Stevenson charging back, he'll catch it. Clark Tackett tags up from third base. That puts the 6th run of the game on the board for Frederick Douglass. Reese Harbison stays at second. Two outs away, runners on first and second. Frederick Douglass to 6-0 lead brings up number 13, Gabe Wright, the catcher. He walked in his first at-bat, homeward to left field in his second. First pitch of his third at-bat. It's fouled back straight into the net. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Runners are going to go. Stevens throws down to Tyler Wants at third base. The throw is not in time. Harbison advances to third. Harris up to second. That pitch was ball one, so 1-1. Ball bounces in front of the plate for ball two. Here's the 2-1 from Rose, and it's outside for ball three. Here is 3-1. The ball is hit down the left field line, and it will be foul. The count now full. Reese Harbison, the runner on third. Connor Harris, the runner on second. Three balls and two strikes is the count. Here's the pitch from Will Rose, and it's outside. Ball four. Bases are loaded again for Frederick Douglass.
Batting for the Broncos, the pitcher, number 5.
Frederick Douglass brings in Dewerson to courtesy run for Gabe Wright, who was the catcher. Now batting for Frederick Douglass, number 5, Braxton Hensley, the pitcher. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat, flew out left field in his second. First pitch of his third at-bat is hit to Tyler Wanda on third baseline. He'll come through, field it, throw to first, not in time. So, brings in the 7th run of the game for Frederick Douglass. Dewerson moves up to second. Reese Harbison comes in to score from third. Connor Harris will be on third now. Again, the score, Frederick Douglass 7, Scott County 0. Brings up the 9-hole hitter, number 9, Jakari Jackson, the third baseman. He has struck out in his first 2 at-bats of this game. First pitch of his third at-bat is called strike 1. Here's the 0-1, and it's high for ball 1. One. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball called strike 2. Here is the 1-2 pitch from Will Rose, and it's low outside in the dirt for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count with 2 outs away here in the top of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Up and inside. Almost hit Jakari Jackson, the batter, but he gets out of the way. That'll be ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes is the count. Here's the pitch. And it is low and away. Ball 4. Another walk from Will Rose. Brings in the 8th run of the game for Frederick Douglass. Out will come Scott County's head coach, Scott Willard. He's going to make a pitching change here. We'll be right back when this pitching change concludes. We're back at the Cardinal Baseball Complex, Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. The new pitcher for Scott County is number 12, Evan Allen. The batter, back to the top of the lineup, number 3, Calvin Johnson, center fielder. First pitch is ball 1 low. Second pitch, ball 2 in the same spot. Two balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. And it's outside for ball 3. Three balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch from Allen. And it'll be called strike 1. Three balls, 1 strike, and 1 out. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit into left field. Colt Fields will make the catch out there for out number 3. In the top of the 5th inning, Frederick Douglass scores 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors from Scott County, and 3 runners are left on base. The score now, Frederick Douglass 8, Scott County 0. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 5th inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We're back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex, campus of Scott County High School for Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. Going into the bottom of the 5th inning, Frederick Douglass leads 8-0. Up to bat for Scott County is number 25, Parker Dotson. Parker walked in his first at bat of this game. In the box now for his second. First pitch is hit right back up the middle. It'll get through for a base hit. That brings up number 34, Luke Huffman, the designated hitter. He struck out looking in his last at-bat of this game. First pitch of the second at-bat is popped up down the right field line. Junior Harris comes charging in. Connor Harris was charging out from first base. They meet. That ball hit right on top of the tarp. That's strike 1 on Luke Huffman. They'll make their way back to their positions. 0-1 is now the count against Luke Huffman. Here's the 0-1. That ball is fouled back straight into the net for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes is the count. That ball is popped up. Shallow center field. Johnson charges in, calls for it, and catches it for out number 1. One out away. Runner on first. Brings up number 22, Tyler Wands, the left fielder. He struck out looking in his last at-bat. First pitch of Tyler's second at-bat. Outside for ball 1. Gabe Wright throws down to Connor Harris at first base. The tag not in time. Here is the 1-0 to Dotson. And it's called strike one. That ball was outside. One pitch. Way out for ball two. Here's a 2-1 from Hensley. Swing and a miss. Strike two from Wands. Two balls, two strikes. Here's the pitch. And it's inside for ball three. Gabe Wright left that ball framed up there for a while, trying to get the call from the home plate umpire. Didn't get it. The count now full. Here's the pitch. And it's outside for ball four. Second base runner of the game, or of the inning, excuse me, for Scott County. Scott County now back to the top of their lineup with number 8, Justin Stevenson. He's the center fielder. He was hit by the pitch in his first at-bat. Struck out looking in his second. Here's the first pitch of his third at-bat. It is hit to Ethan Harris at second base. He fields it and underhands it to Connor Harris at first. Justin Stevenson able to beat out the throw. So Scott County now has the bases loaded. Parker Dotson on third. Tyler Wands on second. Justin Stevenson on first. Brings up number 1, Sebastian Arden. Flew out to second baseman Ethan Harrison's first at bat. Hit by the pitch in his second. First pitch of his third at bat. Outside, ball one. Hensley comes set. Here's the 1-0. A check swing from Arden. He fouls it straight back into the net. Here's the 1-1. That ball is hit into left center field. It'll get down. Dotson will score from third. Coach Willard is waving around Tyler Wands, but he slows up. He'll stop on third. Cardinals put their first run of the game on the board. The score now, Frederick Douglass 8, Scott County 1. It brings up number 2, Will Rose. He's playing second base today for Scott County. He's singled on a line drive to left center field in his first at-bat. Flew out to center field in his second. Tyler Wands, runner on third. Justin Stevenson on second. Sebastian Arden, the runner on first. First pitch to Will Rose is ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And it'll be called strike one. Here's the 1-1 from Hensley. That ball is popped up down the first base line, and it'll be out of play. One ball and 2 strikes is now the count. Hensley steps off the rubber. He'll step back on the rubber now. Gets his sign from Gabe Wright behind the plate. Here's the pitch. And that ball is fouled off by Will Rose, and it will hit Gabe Wright, the catcher. Looks like it hit him right in the chest protector. The count is still 1-2. Gabe Wright appears to be okay now. Will Rose now steps back into the box. He awaits the 1-2 pitch from Braxton Hensley. Hensley comes set now. Here's the pitch. And a ball is hit into left field. It'll be down for a base hit. Tyler Wands will score from third. Coach Willard holds up Justin Stevenson at third base. Sebastian Arden advances to second. Puts the second run of the game on the board for Scott County. And out will come Frederick Douglas' coach. He's going to meet with the infielders. We'll be right back when this mound visit concludes. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex. Scott County versus Frederick Douglass after that mound visit. They're going to leave the field how it is. Up to bat for Scott County is the catcher number 28, Duncan Stevens. First pitch. Ball one up and in. Duncan walked in his first at bat, singled on a pop fly to left field in a second. He fouls that one off down the third baseline. So the count is now 1-1. Braxton Hensley comes set. Here's the pitch. That ball is hit into center field. That ball is deep. And it is gone! A grand slam from Duncan Stevens. The score now, Frederick Douglass 8, Scott County 6. Duncan Stevens brought in Justin Stevenson from third, Sebastian Arden from second, and Will Rose from first, excuse me. In the score now, 8-6. Frederick Douglass still leads. Looks like they're going to make a pitching change. We'll be right back when this pitching change concludes. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We're back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex. Scott County High School, Scott County versus Frederick Douglass in the bottom of the fifth inning. After a grand slam home run from Duncan Stevens. Puts the 6th run on the board for Scott County. Up to bat is Garrett Sparks. Second pitch is ball 1 outside. The new pitcher for the Broncos is Jakari Jackson. He came in from third base. Hensley went over to replace him at third. The 2-0 pitch in the dirt for ball 3. The 3-0 pitch is called strike 1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That ball is fouled out of play on the first base line. So the count now full. 3-2. Here's the pitch from Jackson. That ball is hit to Harbison at second base, or at shortstop, excuse me. Catches it on a line. 4 out. Number 2 of this bottom of the 5th inning.
Now batting for the Cardinals, the right fielder, number 7, Keegan Hurt.
2 outs away here in the bottom of the 5th. Brings up the right fielder, number 7, Keegan Hurt. Grounded out to shortstop in his first at-bat. Then grounded into a double play to shortstop in his second. First pitch of his third at-bat of this game is ball 1. Second pitch outside for ball 2. 2-0 is the count. Steps into the box now. Here's the pitch. It is fouled straight back into the net. Here's the 2-1. And it's low and outside for ball 3. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And it'll be called strike 2. Inside pitch there from Jakari Jackson. The count again full. Back-to-back batters. Jakari Jackson has worked to a full count. That ball is fouled out of play. The count stays full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes is the count. Umpire had to get some more baseballs from the Scott County dugout. 2 outs away here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's a 3-2 from Jackson. It is hit to Ethan Harris at second base. He'll field it. Throw across to Connor Harris at first base. And the throw is in time for out number 3. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Scott County scores 6 runs on 5 hits, no errors from Frederick Douglass, and no Scott County runners are left on base. The score, Frederick Douglass 8, Scott County 6. We'll be right back with the top of the 6th inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We're back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex at Scott County High School. Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. Scott County put up 6 runs in the bottom of the 5th to score 8-6. Going into the top of the 6th inning, up to bat for the Broncos. Number 2, Clark Tackett. First pitch was ball 1. Second pitch, ball 2. Tackett is struck out looking at his first at bat. Singled on a ground ball in between first and second. And singled on a ground ball to left field. The 2-0 pitch, low and out for ball 3. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and it's inside for ball 4. That brings up number 6, Reese Harbison. He grounded out to second base in his first at bat. Flew out to Garrett Sparks at first and a second. Walked in his third. Steps into the box now. His 4th at bat of this game. That ball is popped up to Parker Dotson at third base. He calls for it. Trips on third base, but he catches it. 4 out, number 1. Clark Tackett stays at first. That brings up number 23, excuse me, Connor Harris. He's the first baseman. Grounded out to Sebastian Arden his first at bat. Singled on a ground ball to center field in the second at bat. Walked in his third. First pitch of his 4th at bat. Called strike 1. Here's the 0-1. That ball is fouled straight back into the net. Evan Allen able to get ahead early here. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And it is. And the home plate umpire calls a foul ball on Connor Harris. Frederick Douglass parents are not happy with that call. Home plate umpire goes down the third base line to talk with the Frederick Douglass third base coach. They don't appeal anything. They don't appeal anything to the second base or the field umpire. The count is still 0-2. Here's the pitch. Up and in for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes is the count. Connor Harris still the batter. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That ball is hit into shallow right field, and it is caught by Keegan Hurt in right field. He throws it up to Garrett Sparks, and he'll double up. They'll double up the Broncos. Scott County gets out of the top of the 6th inning. No hits. No runs on no hits. No errors from Scott County. And 1 runner is left on base. The score, Frederick Douglass 8, Scott County 6. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 6th inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We're back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex. Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. Up to bat is Luke Huffman. And Parker Dotson. He pokes that one into shallow right field. Beats out the throw from Junior Harris. So they'll start off the inning with a single. That brings up number 34. They're going to put in Seth Jean, number 14, to replace Luke Huffman, the designated hitter. Jakari Jackson is still the pitcher. First pitch to Seth Jean, way outside. Good stop there from Gabe Wright to keep Parker Dotson on first. The 1-0. And it'll be ball 2. Looked like a good pitch there from Jakari. Must have been low. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch. And it'll be called strike 1. Jackson gets a sign from right behind the plate. Comes set, delivers a 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Here is the 2-2 from Jackson. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for out number 1. Seth Jean chases that. Ball was high and outside. It's out number 1. That brings up number 22, Tyler Wands, playing in left field today. Struck out looking in his first at-bat. Walked in his second. Steps into the box now for his third at-bat of this game. First pitch will hit Tyler. So Parker Dotson moves up to second. Tyler takes first. Scott County now back to the top of their lineup with number 8, Justin Stevenson. Justin was hit by the pitch in his first at-bat. Struck out looking in his second. Singled on a ground ball to second baseman Ethan Harris in his third at-bat, excuse me. Here is his fourth at-bat of this game. Delay there. Scott County is waiting for the sign from Coach Willard. Here's the first pitch to Justin. It's high, gets away from Gabe right behind the plate, and the Scott County base runners will move up a base. One ball, no strikes. Second pitch is high for ball 2. 2-0 is the count. Jackson on the rubber now. Stevenson steps into the box. Here's a 2-0. That ball will be called strike 1. The ball is fouled out of play. So the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Stevenson steps back into the box. Here's the pitch. And it'll be called strike 3. Stevenson strikes out looking. So 2 outs away here in the bottom of the 6th. Up to bat for the Cardinals, number 1, Sebastian Arden. He's a shortstop today. Sebastian flew out to second base in his first at-bat. Was hit by the pitch in his second. Then singled on a ground ball to left center field in his third at-bat. Here's the first pitch of his fourth at-bat. It's outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Inside, and it's called strike one. Arden checked the swing there, but he didn't go all the way around. Umpire still called it strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That ball is popped up into left field. Najee will camp under it, and he makes a catch to end the bottom of the 6th. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Scott County scores 0 runs on 1 hit. No errors from the Broncos. 2 Scott County base runners are left on base to score. Frederick Douglass 8, Scott County 6. We'll be right back with the top of the 7th inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex at Scott County High School for Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. The score, Frederick Douglass 8, Scott County 6. Going into the top of the 7th inning. Up to bat for the Broncos is number 10, Ismail Najee. First pitch is called strike one. Najee homered in his first at-bat to left field. Grounded into a fielder's choice back to the pitcher and struck out in his third. His fourth at-bat. That pitch will not hit him. It'll be ball one. Looks like it hit him there. The count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And it is low for ball 2. Here's a 2-1 pitch from Allen. That ball is hit down the third base line. Dotson will field it. Throw across. Sparks in time. One out away here in the top of the 7th. Brings up number 16, Junior Harris, the right fielder. He walked in his first at-bat, singled on a ground ball to left field in his second. Then flew out to center field in his third. In the box now for his fourth at-bat of this game. First pitch. It's ball 1 outside. Here's a 1-0. And it's called strike 1. One ball, 1 strike, and 1 out away. Here's the pitch from Allen. Swing and miss, strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harris steps back into the box. Allen gets his sign. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Out number 2 of the top of the 7th. That brings up number 13, Gabe Wright, the catcher. He has walked twice today, homered to left field. Here's his first pitch of his fourth at bat. And it's called strike one. Ball is about neck high. It's called a strike. So here's the 0-1. And it's in the dirt. Ball one. Allen says back onto the rubber. Here's the 1-1. And it's called strike two. One ball, two strikes is the count. Here is the pitch to Gabe Wright. And it is right at him. He ducks and it hits his bat. Another foul ball where it could have been a runner on base. One ball and two strikes is still the count. Allen gets his sign from Duncan Stevens behind the plate. Comes set. Here's the 1-2. A check swing. They'll appear down to first. They said he goes! That'll end the top of the 7th inning. Frederick Douglass. No runs on no hits. No errors from Scott County. No runners are left on base. The score, Frederick Douglass 8, Scott County 6. Scott County with a chance to come back, win this game in the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll be right back. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex at Scott County High School for Scott County versus Frederick Douglass. Headed into the bottom of the 7th inning. Frederick Douglass leads 8-6. But Scott County is getting back into this game slowly. Up to bat is number 2, Will Rose, the second baseman. Jakari Jackson still on the mound for the Broncos. First pitch bounces way outside in the left-handed batter's box. Here's the 1-0. That ball is popped up into shallow right field. Junior Harris charging in. He calls for it, and he catches it for out number 1. One out away. Here in the bottom of the 7th. Brings up number 28, Duncan Stevens, the catcher. Hit a grand slam in his last at-bat. Here's the first pitch. And it's ball 1 high. This is 4th at-bat of this game. Jakari Jackson, the pitcher, gets a sign from Gabe Wright behind the plate. Here's the 0-1. And it is behind Duncan Stevens. He gets his bat down. So That'd be ball one. 1-1. Here's the pitch. And it's called strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And it is spiked in the left-handed batter's box for ball 2. Here is the 2-2. Jakari Jackson steps off of the mound. Scott County dugout getting into it now. Clapping. Here's the 2-2 from Jackson. And it's low and away for ball 3. Gabe Bright turns around and asks the home plate umpire where that ball was. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Jackson to Stevens. It's high and out. Ball 4. So Duncan Stevens gets a walk. The Frederick Douglass coach is going to come out and talk with the Bronco infield. We'll be right back when this mound visit concludes. After that mound visit concludes, Jacob Skinner comes in, the courtesy run for the catcher, Duncan Stevens, after he drew a walk. That brings up number 4, Garrett Sparks, the first baseman. Lined out to Reese Harbison at shortstop in his last at-bat. Swing and a miss, strike 1. First pitch of this at-bat. Here is the 0-1 from Jackson. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Sparks now down 0-2. Frederick Douglass 1 out away so far in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 0-2. That ball is popped up down the first base line, and it will be out of play. The count remains 0-2. Sparks stays alive with the foul ball. Jackson gets his sign, comes set. Here's the pitch, and it's called strike 3. Garrett Sparks strikes out looking for the second out of this inning. That brings up the right fielder, number 7, Keegan Hurt. Keegan grounded out to shortstop in his first at bat. Then grounded into a double play to Rich Harbison at shortstop in his second at bat. Grounded out to second base in his third at bat. The lights flicker out. The lights flicker out here. So I don't have it. It's not on there. So they're going to call time, try to fix this. We are back after that short delay. First pitch is ball one outside. Keegan Hurt is the batter. 2 outs away here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 1-0. And it's called strike one. Jacob Skinner, the courtesy runner on first base. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count to Keegan Hurt, the batter. Swing and a miss, foul tip for strike number 2. So Scott County now down their last strike, last out here of this game. Home plate umpire calls time. He's going to clean off home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jackson gets a sign. Comes set. Here's the pitch. And it's fouled off. Looks like it hit Gabe Wright on his throwing hand. Count remains 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, still the count. Keegan Hurt, right fielder, is the batter for Scott County. Here is the 1-2. And it's high for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Keegan now steps into the box. Jackson gets a sign from right behind the plate. Here's the pitch. And it is hit shallow. And they call it a foul ball. Looks like it hit off Keegan Hurt's foot. He went straight down. Now he's got a little limp. He's trying to walk it off. The count remains 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Still the count. Hurt now back into the box after that foul ball off the foot. Here is the pitch. And it's called strike 3. Keegan Hurt ends the game on a strikeout looking from the home plate umpire. That'll end the game. Back-to-back strikeouts looking. Jakari Jackson was the pitcher. That'll do it here from the Cardinal Baseball Complex. Final score, Frederick Douglass 8, Scott County 6. Frederick Douglass wins both games of this series. Scott County will be back in action Friday, the 25th. They play at Anderson County. We'll have that game live here on Connor Sports Talk. Thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody. Again, the final score, Frederick Douglass 8, Scott County 6. That'll do it here from the Cardinal Baseball Complex. Thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody. Good night.